Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. We talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm your host, Jeffrey, and subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Now, Week 12 in the college football season is over, and the playoff race is about starting to shake out, and there were a lot of big games that impacted the playoff race, and I'm going to break down my thoughts on all the biggest games. Now, on Tuesday and Wednesday night, MAC action happened. Bowling Green beat Toledo 42-35. Ohio beat Ball State 32-18. And Eastern Michigan beat Kent State 31-24. Miami, Ohio beat Northern Illinois 29-23. And Western Michigan beat Central Michigan 12-10. So all good wins for those MAC schools. And on Thursday night, Tulane beat SMU 59-24. That was a really good win for Tulane to bounce back after losing to UCF. And SMU really struggled on defense in this game. And on Friday night, Tulsa beat South Florida 48-42. And San Diego State beat New Mexico 34-10. Good wins for those teams. And then on Saturday, a lot of the big results happened. Georgia won at Kentucky 16-6. Georgia kind of struggled on offense in this game. They didn't look like they had put their complete foot on the gas. They didn't play very well in this game, but they got the win. Like they kind of just were on cruise control. Kentucky could not get anything going on offense either. So it was just a low-scoring game overall, but Georgia won. Ohio State won at Maryland 43-30. Maryland played fantastic. Taulia Tagovailoa played really well in this game, and it stinks for him that he got hurt at the end of the game. Hopefully he's okay. But Ohio State, they got the job done, and now they're playing Michigan in the game next week. Michigan beat Illinois 19-17, and Blake Corum got hurt for Michigan, and this really hurts them in this game because Michigan's passing game is not doing super well right now. But Michigan did pull out a win over Illinois 19-17, and now Michigan and Ohio State are going to meet in the game. Both are undefeated. It's going to be a huge game next week, and whoever wins is definitely in the playoff, and the loser is going to have to learn their fate on Selection Sunday. TCU squeaked out a win over Baylor 29-28. TCU still in the driver's seat to make the playoff. They're going to have to keep winning, but TCU found a way to win again. They're having a very special season, and they have been finding ways to win all season. South Carolina beat Tennessee 63-38. This is a crazy result here because South Carolina last week had 6 points at Florida. They only scored 6 points, and this week they scored 63. Tennessee played fairly well on offense, but their defense was awful, and Hendon Hooker got hurt at the end of the game, so hopefully he's okay. But South Carolina played fantastic, and they finally showed to play in a big game. LSU beat UAB 41-10. Not a surprise there. It was a gimme game for LSU. USC beat UCLA 48-45. That keeps the Pac-12's chances alive of making the playoff. USC can still make the playoff if they win out, potentially, and USC played really well in this game. Both teams' defenses did not really show up too well. Both offenses were playing fantastic, but USC found a way to win. Alabama beat Austin Peay 34-0. Complete definition of a cruise control win. Clemson beat Miami 40-10. Good win for Clemson. Miami's really struggling this season, and Clemson got a much-needed win. Oregon beat Utah 20-17. Big reason why Bo Nix was able to play. He looked pretty decent in this game. He didn't look too banged up. And for Utah, they do struggle on the road more than they do at home. And Oregon was able to get a big win after losing to Washington. Penn State beat Rutgers 55-10. Good win for Penn State. Rutgers, no contest there. Georgia Tech beat North Carolina 21-17. Shocking result. Georgia Tech has had a struggling season, but Brent Key at defensive coordinator, now the interim head coach, he's really turned Georgia Tech around and made them a competent football team. And North Carolina with Drake May had one of the worst performances of the season, especially on offense, and they fell to Georgia Tech. And that ends their chances of having any outside chance of making the playoff, and that really hurts the ACC's chances overall. Arkansas beat Ole Miss 42-27. Arkansas, KJ Jefferson returned, and they played fantastic in this game, and Ole Miss really struggled. And Arkansas, big win for Sam Pittman's team. Kansas State beat West Virginia 48-31. Good win for Kansas State. West Virginia is no longer bowl eligible. They tried in this game, but Kansas State with Will Howard at quarterback is playing fantastic football right now. Washington beat Colorado 54-7. Colorado is really struggling this season, and Michael Penix Jr. had another really good game for Washington, and they followed up their fantastic Oregon win with a good one over Colorado. Notre Dame beat Boston College 44-0. A lot of people thought this game might be close. Boston College just beat NC State, but Notre Dame did what they needed to do before having to play USC, and that showdown next week, and a really good win for Notre Dame. Florida State beat Louisiana Lafayette 49-17. Not a contest there, going for Florida State. Navy beat UCF 17-14. Shocking win here for Navy. Good win, but UCF is a team that likes to spread the ball out, and Navy kept the ball away from them. UCF was never able to get momentum, and Navy was able to run the clock out, and they got a much-needed win. Navy played really good on their strategy in this game. And UCF, tough loss because now their chances of making a New Year's Day bowl game is probably out of the question. Oklahoma beat Oklahoma State 28-13. Oklahoma State really struggled in this game. Oklahoma with Dylan Gabriel at quarterback really found their way. Obviously, Oklahoma State put up a lot of yards in this game, but they didn't get points, and that's what matters. And Oklahoma was able to win Bedlam, and that was a big win for Brent Venables. Oregon State beat Arizona State 31-7. Good win for Oregon State. Only their second win at Arizona State since 1972. That's fantastic for Oregon State, and they're having a really good season. Louisville beat NC State 25-10. Both are starting quarterbacks for NC State and Louisville were out. Malik Cunningham for Louisville and Devin Leary for NC State. But Louisville was able to get the better of NC State, and they got a really good win. Cincinnati beat Temple 23-3, going for Cincinnati. Temple's really struggling this season. Now to the unranked games, Mississippi State beat East Tennessee State 56-7. No shocker there. Texas A&M got a much-needed win for Jimbo Fisher. He beat UMass 20-3. If he had a loss this game, that would have been terrible for Jimbo Fisher, but he's able to win. Vanderbilt wins another SEC game in a row. They beat Florida 31-24. Vanderbilt's actually playing decent football right now, and that was their first home win over Florida since 1988. It's a good win for Clark Lee. Army beat UConn 34-17, going for Army. Virginia Tech beat Liberty 23-22. Some people question, is Hugh Freeze locked in for Liberty at head coach right now? Is he looking at job offers? Who knows? But good win for Virginia Tech. Wisconsin beat Nebraska 15-14. Nebraska gave this game away. They were winning the whole time, but Wisconsin was able to come back and win. Purdue beat Northwestern 17-9. Go in for Purdue, and if they can beat Indiana next week, then Purdue might win the West if Iowa loses. Indiana won at Michigan State 39-31 in double overtime. Really shocking result here. Indiana is able to win the old brass platoon. They were down 24-7.5, but they were able to come all the way back. Dexter Williams at quarterback seems to be the answer for Indiana and being able to run the football with a bad offensive line. And much needed win for Tom Allen. Good win for Indiana. Pitt beat Duke 28-26. Pittsburgh's really turned their season around. Duke is a decent football team, but they might not be as good as the record suggests. But really good win for Pittsburgh, and Duke's still having a really good season. UTSA beat Rice 41-7. Good win for UTSA. Washington State beat Arizona 31-20. Going for Washington State. Jedd Fisch has turned Arizona around this season, but they're still not there yet. And really good win for Jake Dicker's Washington State team. Houston beat ECU 42-3. Good win for Houston. ECU's really dropped the ball in this game. A lot of people, including myself, thought ECU would win, but they played terrible in this game. And good win, bounce back win for Dana Holgerson's Houston team. Memphis beat North Alabama 59-0. No surprise there. James Madison beat Georgia State 42-40. Offensive shootout there. Going for James Madison. App State beat Old Dominion 27-14. Good win for App State. Texas beat Kansas 55-14. Another shocking result how Texas scored 10 points against TCU, but then they bounced back and scored 55 against Kansas. And Texas played like a top 25 football team. Good win for Texas. BYU beat Utah Tech 52-26. Good win for BYU. South Alabama beat Southern Miss 27-20. Troy beat Louisiana Monroe 34-16. Charlotte beat Louisiana Tech 26-21. Middle Tennessee State beat Florida Atlantic 49-21. All good wins for those teams. Iowa beat Minnesota 13-10 in the Floyd of Rosedale. This rivalry game, very low-scoring game as expected, but Minnesota gave this game away. PJ Fleck still cannot get a win versus Iowa. They've lost 8 in a row to Iowa in this rivalry game. Minnesota missed a field goal. They had turnovers. They made a lot of mistakes, and Kirk Ferentz's team was able to pull out a win, but Iowa, their offense really struggled in this game. Spencer Petras did throw a little bit better in this game, and he had a decent amount of yards. Minnesota should have won, but they gave the game away, but good win for Iowa. UTEP beat FIU 40-6, going there for UTEP. Auburn beat Western Kentucky 41-17. This game was tied at the half, but Auburn was able to pull away. So going for Auburn. Texas State beat Arkansas State 16-13, going for Texas State. Cal beat Stanford 27-20. On the 40th anniversary of the play, going for California to beat Stanford on the 40th anniversary of the play because they're the ones that won that game. And Stanford's really struggling on offense right now, but going for Cal. Marshall beat Georgia Southern 23-10. Good win there. Texas Tech beat Iowa State 14-10. Iowa State is no longer bowl eligible. Very good win for Texas Tech. It was really struggling on the road, and they did struggle in this game as well, but they were able to pull out a win. Boise State beat Wyoming 20-17. Very good win for Boise State. Boise State now clinches a spot in the Mountain West Championship game. Very good win for Boise State to get a tough win at Wyoming. Missouri beat New Mexico State 45-14, going from Missouri. Wake Forest beat Syracuse 45-35. An offensive shootout. Syracuse's offense came to life, but Wake Forest was able to get the win, going for Wake Forest. Air Force beat Colorado State 24-12, going for Air Force. Utah State beat San Jose State 35-31. Kind of a shocking result here. San Jose State has been playing much better football than Utah State this season, but Utah State got the win, so really good win for them. Good win there. Fresno State beat Nevada 41-14. Good win for Fresno State. And Hawaii beat UNLV 31-25. Good win for Hawaii, who's been really struggling. And you had Akron and Buffalo got postponed. And unfortunately, Coastal Carolina and Virginia was canceled. And again, rest in peace to all those 3 players that got murdered wrongfully. And hopefully, rest in peace to all of them, and prayers for their family and everything with Virginia. But what a week in college football. All these games, the playoff race is really shaking out. Week 12 really delivered. A lot of great games in college football. Comment down below what you thought about Week 12 in the college football season and what you think about the playoff race and how it's going to shake out. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below, and I will see you next time.